Good afternoon. Welcome to the TheoTRADE afternoon video. I'm Blake Young. Today is December 18th, 2025. We're going to quickly cover the CPI information today, and we're also going to talk about looking for opportunities in bonds, utilities, and other dividend type payers. So to begin with, I just want to highlight really quickly, the BLS.gov report came out today, and it was supposed to be a catch-up, a culmination of what we saw in October, November, trying to get us up to date. The problem with that is they said, well, we're missing a little bit of the data. Well, the reality is they're missing a lot of the data. As you can see, they didn't miss just one or two things. They only caught three things, and that is vehicles and gas prices. So new and used vehicles and gas prices are the only numbers we have from October and November for all the data. So despite that, they still are trying to claim that they have a slowing inflation number, and they're theoretically comparing year over year. And the real problem is fuel oil and utility pipe gas, which is how we stay warm in the winter, those two, are at 11 and 9% higher than they were a year ago. Electricity and utilities are 7% roughly of what they were a year ago. Medical services are up 3.3. And so the ones that are lower are, yes, gas prices, which we know that because crude prices fell, and new vehicles, which we know they were overpriced for a while. Anyway, that's about it. Apparel, which they would have pulled the report during the week of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And so we're sitting there at 0.2%. This is not an amazing situation to be in. We're still seeing inflation in most of the areas, and significant inflation at that. So as we're doing this, we're looking at the moves and we're looking at the setups. I'm seeing this as really a worthless report, and if anything, hidden inflation inside of that 2.7% year over year rate. That has me looking even more for defensive plays. Part of the reason why I want to do that is if we really are seeing lower inflation, at least the market's going to react like it's lower inflation, then the idea would be, okay, then we cut rates in the future. If we cut rates in the future, yields will go down and therefore prices can go up. And you can see bond prices have rallied significantly today in the midst of all the chaos. This is the ZN, or the 10-year bond futures. We could also look at this 7 to 10 on the IEF as a bond ETF. And you're also going to see a significant gap up, close higher, because it was in response to CPI. So that big move up, that gap higher, is arguably driven by that CPI data. If you're not looking at buying into bonds, which is fine, you can absolutely buy into bonds and get the return like you would want. But to avoid that, one of my favorite tools is to look at utilities, and utilities as a substitute to bonds and as a substitute to fixed income from bonds. As you can see, utilities all the way down through here, they sold off dramatically early in December, and this is the stabilizing area. It's the support level, a area that we could say, okay, I want to get ready to buy in on this bounce. We haven't really moved any lower, and this is a spot that I could get opportunities for both a long bond position or even a short put position. This means that I'm going to be looking for utility stocks that either pay a high put, or selling puts pay out very well, or give a high dividend. If we look at something like CEG and VST, both up significantly today, CEG doesn't have a very good dividend and does not pay very good on the options, but VST is a very different story. If we look at VST on the options, looking at about 30 days, VST down here at the money, we're at 165 right now, they will pay us 5.57% for 30 days for our willingness to own it here. So even though the dividend yield is only 0.55%, we can actually get paid upwards of $8.50, $9 at 165, or 5.57% for our willingness to own it. That gives us a 5.57% safety. If we would rather get paid a little bit less but give ourselves more safety, we will look down to the 3% return at 155. Now, if we're getting into the trade at 155, that means the stock has to fall $10, and we're getting paid $440 to $480. So we'll just say $450. That means we have a safety net of $14.50. That is nearly 10% from where we're at currently. So I like the idea of getting paid 3%, not as a dividend for a year, but 3% for 1 month with a 10% safety net by selling the put on Vistra. Just a moment ago, I pointed out that inflation in electricity had gone up year over year, And if we look at a stock like Edison International, EIX, also a utility stock, breaking through to record highs today. This is a breakout trade, a bullish breakout trade that could run upwards of 8 to 10% in the underlying price. I could do this both ways. I could sell the put on this and collect the dividend. You'll notice that the dividend yield is 5.85%, even though price is rising quickly. The ex-dividend date is January 7th, so normally I would try to sell a put and get assigned and then get the dividend. So I could do it both ways. I could say I want the 3.67% at 60. So for the next 30 days, I should make 3.67%. Or I could buy the stock, have the appreciation of the stock that could be $5, and get the 5.84% yield, which is about $3.25, by just buying the stock outright. So Edison is more likely just buy the stock and own it so you can get that dividend on January 7th, especially where this broke out through a 52-week high. And we know that utilities, especially electricity utilities, are expected to continue to move higher. My last two are historically some of my favorites to trade, but they've been really knocked down a lot, like Duke. Duke has dropped from 130 down to about 115, a major correction, 15% down. We had a buy signal here and another buy signal here as far as the monkey bars are concerned. And it might be a good time just to buy in the stock and see if we can get all the way back up to 123. We'd be looking at about a 5-6% move there. And on the dividend yield, we could also collect another 3.62% if we hold it for a long time. You'll notice the dividend date is November 14th. That means we could sell puts until we get assigned. Sell puts until we get assigned so that we own it by probably mid-February, and that's when that ex-dividend will reset and pay us the quarterly dividend. That means at the money, 117.57, probably not enough to get 1% for a month here, and we'd be better off just buying the stock. If you're comfortable with it, you could collect 2.3%, 2.7% at 120, but you're going to be giving up roughly the same amount in the stock price if it's going to go up to 120. So you're either going to get assigned at 120 and collect $3 and be at roughly the same price, or you can buy it here and be at 120 and make $2.50 instead of $3 at 120. So it could go either way. Duke could be played one way or the other. Dominion looks a little bit more promising, as you could sell the 60 for nearly 2% for 1 month. And then if you get assigned, you will be getting 4% annually, but the next dividend is probably not until March. Looking at the stock as far as the timing on it goes, you can see we broke through the monkey bar. It's not actually a buy signal. It's right at that 0%, which is normally where I'd be very interested in selling that put. That put, again, is a little bit lower than what I would normally want, which is about 1.87, but 1.87%, almost 2% for 1 month. And you could do this for January. You could do this again in February, and possibly a third time in March, depending on when the ex-dividend date is. And so potentially you could collect $1 to $1.23 times or $3. That would be a 5% collecting while you wait to get assigned and then own the stock to get that dividend of 4%. This would set you up for about a 9% return annually, even if it doesn't go up anymore. So I like all of these utility stocks, dividend payers, as a substitute to buying into bonds as we set up at the support levels and the bounces that are being seen in bonds and utilities alike. The last thing I'm going to cover is consumer staples for dividend stocks, and the one I want to look at, I'm just going to cover one here, is General Mills. Now, we already responded to earnings. We had a gap up, close higher. We're seeing quite a recovery from 47 to 49, a good move, 5% move roughly for General Mills. Now, normally I would not chase it into this, but because they have such a good dividend and because we broke through this previous high, I do think we could go up to 50. There could be 51 and could be another $2 move. Not a huge move that we're not chasing that, but it does pay a good dividend. Dividend ex-dividend date starts on January 9th. It's going to pay 61 cents. That is a 5% a year dividend at the current price, even with that big move. So I like General Mills as a dividend play, something to collect premium. And then if we get an extra $2 comparatively, it puts us closer to 10% collecting $2 move up in the stock and a $2.40 in the dividend, we're getting close to 10% with just a $2 move in the stock. And we could hold it for a very long time, let alone selling call premium for about a month. We'd get about 1% on selling the call premium out of the money. And you could collect another 10 to 12% that way as well. So I like General Mills for both the dividend and the short puts and the covered call strategy. We'll talk more about consumer staples and dividend stocks in the weeks to come. Thanks for watching, and join me again next week. We'll see you.